Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have exchanged pleasantries. This when there was an informal meeting post an adjournment in the Parliament session. And during this meeting, we are also learning that the Leader of Opposition, in fact, inquired from the Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh about the situation in Ukraine. Also interesting is that both the Leader of Opposition and Prime Minister Modi even exchanged pleasantries and a very warm Namaste. What's important to note is that the Leader of Opposition's query comes shortly before Prime Minister, as we all know, is going to be headed to Ukraine on 23rd of August. And remember, this was on CNN News18 yesterday that we had also broken the news that Prime Minister will be going there in the capacity of as a harbinger for peace. He'll be urging Ukraine to, in fact, settle for a ceasefire with Russia. Let's quickly go across to Payal, who's joining me with more inputs. Payal, the Leader of Opposition's query is arriving at a very interesting time, just when the BJP has attacked the opposition for maintaining a silence over the attack on minorities in Bangladesh.
Well, we need to look at this meeting in totality. It was an exchange of pleasantries that takes place after every session. When everybody sits in the speaker's chamber and, talks to each other, on multiple issues. It's not a serious discussion, but, out of the query that Rahul Gandhi really has, he asked Rajnath Singh, the defense minister of the country, as to what is the situation in Ukraine, to which, of course, the defense minister himself replied saying that the situation is okay and we are keeping a complete watch over it. Apart from that, there were pleasantries that were exchanged between various leaders. In fact, various leaders commended some ministers who, in fact, given a reply, some new ministers who given a reply, including Ramohan Naidu. They also praised Kiran Rijiju himself for having spoken in Hindi, for example, during the bill that he was speaking yesterday. That was something, of course, which is the TMC leader, Mr. Shruti Bandyopadhyay, among the others. It was more like an informal setting, informal meeting, something which has been part of the customary.
Right.
But, no connotation need to be made is what we're given to understand.
Absolutely, Payal, but questions are bound to rise on why wasn't there any query posed about the situation of Hindus in Bangladesh, considering we've seen the number of temples being vandalized and the number of Hindus and the houses that they own have come under attack.
Well, of course, that is something which the BJP has raised every now and then, of the parliament and also inside parliament, essentially, saying that, why have you not raised the concern about what has happened to the minorities? A host of Congress leaders, in fact, congratulated the new establishment in Bangladesh over Twitter, but nobody really mentioned about it. Only the Prime Minister, in his tweet did mention his concern about the situation of the minorities. So obviously, but in tea parties like this, when you're informally meeting, nobody actually raises such serious questions. It's more like exchanging pleasantries. It's been a good session. The budget has been passed. So obviously, there's a lot of pleasantries that are being exchanged. That's exactly what the purpose of this meeting really is. It's not an all-party meeting. It's not a meeting where political agenda is discussed.
All right, and considering Ukraine was inquired upon, important to also highlight how Prime Minister will be visiting the country. And remember, India is going to be one of those very few countries who have managed to, in fact, maintain that balance between Russia and Ukraine. And much lies here as far as Prime Minister Modi's own capacity as that leading voice of the global South is concerned.